y'all, and good morning. So I'm in my favorite place back home. We had a great time in the mountains. It was so beautiful and so relaxing. But it's always good to be back home, and the first thing I did was checked on all of my plants, of course. But Savannah did a beautiful job, and she took care of everything. She even got those hydrangeas, those 6 hydrangeas that were in the front over here. She got those put in the back, so I'll make sure to show that to you. But the mountains were beautiful. It's just amazing like how much work they've been able to do in just a short amount of time. There's still a lot of, work to be done on the roads and like cleaning up the trees, but everything is passable, and it was so good to get back to see our friends, and the restaurants are open and ready for everybody to come so they can serve them. So I did wanted to show you something this morning before we get started with our planting. I did a little order from Creekside Nursery. So on our last video, Patty B Gardening, she had said she got some of the El Nino Chatalpas from Creekside Nursery. So I decided to go ahead and place an order before I left, and they came in, and I want to show you what I got because it was just amazing. They came in so quickly and they look so beautiful. So let's go take a look. Okay, so as we're on our way up, I want to show you guys those little muscari bulbs that I planted. They are all coming up. It's just been so warm here. And this side has really came up, but look at them. They're not supposed to come up until the spring, but oh well, I guess we're going to have some fall, winter muscaris coming up, and that'll be perfectly fine. The chrysanthemums we got from Lidl, they are still doing really good and still have tons of buds on them. Okay guys, so this is my package from Creekside Nursery, and it came in with just a couple of days, and I love their little saying up here, please handle carefully as we make our way to our new home. So Creekside Nursery is with Jerry and Jenny, and they live in Dallas, North Carolina, and this is their family-owned business, which I love supporting family-owned, and they carry tons of proven winners plants. So this is what we got, guys. So I went ahead and took them out of the little packaging, but they were packaged so nicely. So each one was down in one of these little cubes here, and it had a little paper sleeve over it, and it had a plastic sleeve over it. So everything, this is what it looks like when I took it open. No soil movement whatsoever. I'm sure in shipping, if somebody was decided to dump over this box, it would move. But it came in so nicely, and it's still very moist too. But I'm going to get a little bit of water on these in a minute. So these are the little quick fire. So I got 2 of those, and I want to use them in my back shade flower bed because I already have one, and I kind of wanted to create a little trio there. So these are the little quick fires, and they have the white, and it kind of goes to pink. But they're USDA zones 3 through 8. They get 3 to 5 foot tall, and they are low deer resistant, so they're going to be inside of our fence, which will be good to keep them protected. And they're sun to part sun. So I think they're going to look great over there. And I did notice this year, I keep calling it my shade flower bed, but it gets a lot more sun in the summer, and so I think these are going to do really well there. And I love that pink color. And you guys know I couldn't resist. I had to get some more of the El Nino Chatalpas because I am just hoping they are going to be beautiful in our garden. Of course, they're the high deer resistance, which is great. They can take full sun, and they have the beautiful, beautiful flowers and fragrance. I am so excited about these. So I got 3 of those. I am going to keep 2 of them, and 1 is going to go to my dad. So they are starting to lose their leaves now. So when you get these, don't be troubled that they're losing leaves, because this is just what happens this time of year when it starts to get cooler. Same thing with the hydrangeas. They're starting to get a little, brown on their leaves, and that's just what happens with these. The nice thing with these hydrangeas is they're a panicle type hydrangea. So that means they bloom on new wood. So, you can do all your trimming that you need to do in the spring, and they'll be perfectly happy. But we're going to put these El Ninos where they can just grow up big and tall and just be a beautiful specimen in the garden, because they get 4 to 6 foot tall and wide. And I've heard some people even say 10. So we're going to give them enough space that they can spread out. So I'm so excited. I was so excited to get these plants from Creekside Nursery. They also included a little card. Let me get that out. Okay, so here's their little card with Jerry and Jenny and their kids and their little Creekside family. So cute. I definitely want to visit here one day. And they gave us the planting instructions. And she gave us a little sticker, bless your heart, which is perfectly fitting for us girls here in the South. So that's a very special little treat. Thank you so much, Jenny and Jerry, for sending that. Okay, guys, so we're just going to make a little quick, planting day like we normally do. We're going to plant one of the El Niños in the back where we did the other two, and we're going to plant one of them over in the front, which is going to be very exciting. And then we're going to do our little quick fires in the back in our shade flower bed, so it should be pretty easy today. Okay, so I think I'm going to save the biggest El Niño for my dad. He's going to be here for Thanksgiving. And I was talking to him about it on the phone, about trying to find a place to plant this, but I think it's going to do really well. He has very sandy soil where he lives at, and it gets really warm. So this being, a cross of a desert orchid, I think it's going to do great in South Georgia. So we just need to gather up our little supplies and get these plants popped into the ground. I think they're going to enjoy all the sun that we have today. Okay, so we're back here in our shade flower bed. And we already have one of the little quick fire hydrangeas there. And then we had talked about putting one right in here. And then putting one like right in here, moving that chrysanthemum around. So we'll just kind of space them out here in this little flower bed. I think it's going to be super pretty next year. These are all done. So I did use my power planter auger for this one. And this one over here, I removed the chrysanthemum so it was nice and soft. So we got that popped in there. But can y'all just imagine? So it's going to have these really pretty, soft hydrangea blooms on them. They're not going to be like the big balls like we have with the Limelight hydrangeas. So they're going to be really a very soft, pretty texture here in this garden. And so we'll have 1, 2, and 3. It's going to be super pretty next year. Let's grab our little supplies and head over outside the fence. Let's just romance the ordinary a little bit and take a stroll through our cottage garden to get there. It's actually straighter to go that way, but you miss out on all the beautiful flowers if you go that way. Look at these zinnias, just self-seeding and coming up everywhere. Creeping Jenny going crazy. Look at this one right here in the middle of the pathway. Ooh, and there's a bee on it. She's trying to get me. The Millionaire, still gorgeous. Rebecca, beautiful. Zinnias still going crazy. These are the ones that just seeded themselves. And of course our apricot drift rose. How can you beat it? It is just beautiful. You don't have to deadhead this one, but I like to. It's kind of therapeutic too, but it's just gorgeous, y'all. Look how big it got. So pretty. And then our iris blooming again. What a special gift. Getting all of these blooms from this beautiful iris that we just planted this year. Isn't that pretty? She's grown a lot too. And I think I've got some raspberries coming up back there. You never know what you're going to find in this garden. So pretty. We are back in the backyard. And here is our El Niños that we planted last time. So here is the one here. And then here is the one there. So I think we are going to plant the next one, maybe in line with this one, but go further out that way. I think that's going to be really, really pretty. So I'm just going to kind of like walk this out in a straight line, and we're just going to plant it kind of over in this area. Okay, so it's going to be in line with this one right here, and it's kind of in between those arborvitaes right there. So it's going to give it lots of space, and it will get lots of sun right here in this area. You know, it's so nice when you can help out and support local businesses. And Creekside Nursery, I started watching Gardening with Creekside on YouTube in 2020, and it seemed like when they were first doing their videos, it was really out of necessity because, you know, everything was shut down, and so they were highlighting what was for sale at their nursery since they were considered an essential business, so they could still stay open. So it's been really neat to watch Jenny because she gardens in the same zone that I garden in with North Carolina. Now, her soil is definitely different than our soil. So if you've not watched Gardening with Creekside, make sure you go over to check out their channel, because their dirt is like what I grew up with, red clay. And I mean, not like pink. This stuff is red. So definitely different than coastal North Carolina. But we have similar types of weather as far as like the heat and the humidity, and then the rain, and then the dry spell. So it's been so fun to watch Jenny and Jerry, because they are true gardeners, because they own and run a nursery and landscaping business. So they are definitely, they know what they are talking about. So even though we're going into winter, I am still going to add some of the Biotone, because this is going to be for root development. So even though it's cold, your plant's roots are still growing. So we're going to still add that into our hole. So by next spring, we'll have some big, beautiful roots on these plants. So let's take a look at the roots. They look really good. They're very developed, especially to be in just a little quart-sized container. So they look very, very nice. Get that put in our hole. Actually, my hole's a little bit too big. So let me put some more dirt on top of that, and then I'll put some more Biotone. I got a little zealous with my digging there. Okay. There we go. Put a little bit more, and then we'll just get it filled in back with our pretty sandy soil. Okay guys, so we got it in the ground. Doesn't look like much right now, but I think it's going to look so pretty. And it's amazing with just these El Niños over here, just within a couple of days, how they've really perked up since I planted them. So hopefully that other one will too. It'll be interesting to see how they do during the winter, if they drop all of their leaves or if they'll keep some of their leaves. Just, I guess, depends on how hard our winter is. But it's going to be this nice little trio right here. So I can't wait to get started more on my kitchen garden over here. This is going to be super fun and exciting, but I'm going to have to get a little help with putting in my post. So I kind of have to wait on hubby to help me with that because he's pretty good at the heavy digging. But look at these angelonias. Okay, so it's November the 13th, and look how beautiful they're still doing. Aren't they just beautiful? Look at the lizards. Lizards everywhere. So pretty here, though. I definitely want to do more of the angelonia next year. And Proven Winners has, I think, purple, white, and pink. So that's going to be really pretty for the selections. This one here is a Monrovia one, and it has done so beautiful right here. So all of our trees are starting to lose their leaves, and the pine straw is falling. It's definitely starting to feel more like fall out here. Okay, so we're back out here in the front, and this is definitely an area that I want to start developing. I've planted some evergreens in here. They're not doing the best. So I was thinking about maybe taking up this one and planting the El Nino here, or either taking up this little lemon cypress, which I started reading. I think we get a little bit too cold for them, and that's probably why it's not doing so well. So either that place or that place. This one is quite close to the property line though, so it needs like 5 feet. So maybe we plant it right here in the middle. Okay, so I got it all planted. So I took up this little lemon cypress right here, and this is kind of what it looked like. Very, very dead. But I think we get a little bit too cold for that. And we got the El Nino planted right in its spot. So it should have lots of room to get big right here. I will have to get it watered. And then also, this is like a little native tree. I think it was like a sweet shrub. I looked it up one time, but I can't remember right now. And I went ahead and just kind of trimmed it up so we can kind of create it more like a little tree. But it's just like a little native little sapling that came up here in this area. And I did kind of clean up some of these little thorn things here. So I've got to get those disposed of because they were kind of all wrapped around the bottom of this tree, as well as some like thistle looking things that look like blackberries or something. I don't know. But this is what it looks like, planted in its new little home. And eventually, if we can just kind of imagine, we're going to start off like right here, go around this box, and then we'll kind of sweep it back that way. You can kind of see we've been kind of cutting the grass shorter through there as well. And this will be just all flower bed through here. But I'm just kind of popping things in here while I've got them, and then we can work on the mulching later. Okay guys, so that's going to do it for our planting today. Thank you so much for gardening with me, and I hope this gives you some inspiration if you are looking for some of those hard to find plants like we all are. Check out Creekside Nursery. You never know what they're going to have on their website, and it's still warm here in North Carolina, so you may be able to get those things shipped to you before it gets too cold. But I hope you guys have a chance to get in your gardens today. Bye friends. P.S. guys, so I forgot to show you, I was putting things in my compost pile, and I forgot to show you where Savannah planted those hydrangeas at. So let me show you. Okay, so here is where she planted the 6 Blushing Bride hydrangeas, and they're doing so good. So as you can see, this is a work in progress. There's still rocks and weeds and everything, but she was able to get the rocks removed from these areas, cut that landscape fabric, which we're going to take completely out of here. We're going to add topsoil and compost, and this is going to be a fun bed to work on next year. But look how big they already are. It's like we got instant, like, let's see, we've had them for 2 years now, and they are probably already a year old or more. So maybe 4-year-old plants. So nice to be able to plant these big mature plants over here, and hopefully they'll like it better over here because they're not south facing. So fingers crossed.